The people want to know.
Did you wear a thong or not?
No, not that. What is a catch? I bet you think you know now. I thought I knew too. Until last week blew that up. Isaiah Likely with 2 feet? Not a catch. Aaron Rodgers half a knee? Yes, a catch. Michael Pittman on a 50-50 ball?
The tide goes to the offense in that situation.
Not a catch. How are we supposed to train the robots to take our jobs if we're not consistent? Welcome to Shut Up Football. I'm Jeff Stoltzfus. That's Kevin. Last week was stupid. I didn't care for it. But we'll break it down anyway in the dumbest possible way. It was a week of third-string rookie quarterbacks, Godzilla, and Corgi races. It was week 14 in the NFL. Let's get it. Jahmyr Gibbs continues to look like a fantasy kingmaker. He tied Barry Sanders for the most touchdowns before turning 24. Huge news for age-based sports betting apps. The Cowboys were looking to make a playoff push, and they could use a laxative. Dakota Rain Prescott was sacked 5 times. I prefer to use all 3 names, like an assassin who specializes in playoff hopes. He turned the ball over thrice, which is 3 times for people who drink tea with their pinky up. Brian Schottenheimer was so mad he was shitting pens. He had to borrow Kirk Herbstreit's bag of crayons just to finish the game, leaving a half-finished picture of Bluey soaked in tears.
So we gotta get another takeaway, another stop.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, man.
Dan Campbell manifested a takeaway. Neat trick. Now wish away whatever injury succubus keeps claiming your best players. CeeDee Lamb was upset after he was ruled out with a concussion. Don't worry, CeeDee. I'm sure you'll forget all about it. George Pickens became the #1 receiver and the #1 complaint. Showing warm-up level cardio and lazy routes, he was called out by Kirk Herbstreit and Richard Sherman and responded with grit and psychological fortitude. I'm kidding, he lashed out like an 8-year-old. As George was Pickens' routes to show up on, Ryan Flanoy, best known for correcting how people pronounce his name, enjoyed a breakout game and led the team in receptions. The Lions put up an insurmountable number of points, but it didn't stop them from mounting each other.
I mean, does Jerry Jones get the last laugh at some point?
He does not. Kirk Cousins was picked off twice, and both came off deflections. Bijan Robinson fumbled after Jarran Reed punched it out with his giant turkey drumstick hand. Even their field goals were blocked. The Falcons could do no right. This game turned on a dime after the emotional Corgi race at halftime, which was adorable. Until you realized they were being hunted for their delicious meat. Rashid Shaheed took the second half kickoff for points and superimposed himself into the nightmares of their special teams coach. He's like the special teams Freddy Krueger, except he doesn't kill, he causes joblessness. Sam Darnold dumped more points on top, and the Falcons were eliminated from everything everywhere. Rodgers was popping breath mints in case the defense wanted to kiss. You gotta be ready in case bad breath tries to blitz. Aaron Rodgers had a rushing touchdown in this. Eventually, stick with me. He even title-towned that shit. You hear me, Jake from State Farm? You taking my calls now? You still owe me for last month's rent. Lamar Jackson hit Isaiah Likely for a score.
That will stand. That is definitely a touchdown.
Except it wasn't. Not today.
Possession, 2 feet, but he has to have the time to make a football move or a football move.
A football move. Like spitting on him or punching him in the balls. What exactly is a football move? And can you show me with these inflatable dolls I've acquired from sources? Rodgers had a pass deflected back to him. Lucky for him, he had a knee on the ground. And, oh, wait a minute. I don't see a football move.
Tie goes to the runner.
Is that right? I can't wait to revisit that point in 3 minutes. The snow in Buffalo defeated the Hawkeye measuring system, and they had to drag the chains out, releasing every prisoner at Highmark Stadium. That's one for Mother Nature.
You had your chance, technology.
The Bengals came out hot in the cold. Snow Burrow threw 4 touchdowns, 2 to T. Higgins. Christian Benford stole a Snow Burrow pass for 67 yards and a score. They said Burrow hadn't thrown an interception all season, which, while factually true, Feels less impressive considering he missed 80% of the season. That's like saying you haven't gotten any traffic tickets in the last 20 years without the context of a prison sentence. The game turned quick after the Bills scored 21 points in less time than it takes to boil an egg, and Josh Allen scrambled for the win. Myles Garrett wrote Godzilla on his arm. He also wrote King of the Monsters, but it wouldn't be appropriate to tell you where. The field was heated, allowing these teams to play in nice, warm mud. It looked like somebody was playing whack-a-mole between downs. Haha, fuck you, Grandpa. Grant Delbert whiffed on a ninja tackle, just to end up on his back as Cam Ward threw it away. Shedeur Sanders enjoys a good fisting, and he lets everyone know about it. Yeah, we get it. We all have hobbies. Sanders had a career day with 364 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 possible thong. It's probably just tape covering a tramp stamp that reads, "Live, laugh, audible." I believe it was his father who said, "Look good, feel good, play good." I guess the next generation is, feel pretty, play like there's something stuck in my ass crack. It was rain and pain in Jacksonville. Daniel Jones had the worst day. He was intercepted on the first play, suffered a serious leg injury, and was forced to watch a football game. Scared wet rookie Riley Leonard took over. Jags fans sat in the pool and taunted Lightning. J.J. Watt was calling the game with his oldest son. This was like watching 2 heavyweights fight, but one of them was blind. Michael Pittman caught a 50-50 ball with a defender, and they ruled it an interception. Not the rule, refs. And not a good look for you when jackasses at home know the rule book better than you.
Tie goes to the runner.
Tony Romo said it, so it's football law.
Tie goes to the runner.
Even rules analyst Gene Dumbledore agreed.
The tie goes to the offense in that situation.
I guess not this time. Winning is so new to the Jags, they haven't even taken their fans out of the plastic. This looked like a collision of rival clown colleges. Jayden Daniels returned from injury for this game, only to leave with another injury, leaving serious concerns about the fragility of Robert Griffin IV. Marcus Mariota gets more Plan B action than an on-campus pharmacy. Unfortunately, he's less effective. He turned it over twice and saw no points. J.J. McCarthy had a bounce-back day, throwing 3 touchdowns to his tight ends. Daniels returned to the sideline to threaten potential pimples with finger guns. The Commanders drew a self-portrait, and it was completely blank. Why so serious? Tyrod Taylor was picked off after Tyrell Dodson caught the ball with the length of his body. He rubbed his musky scent all over it, so it would remember him years from now, after they were reunited in the wild. The Jets were down 3 scores when Taylor was forced from the game. In came undrafted rookie quarterback Brady Cook, who, it turns out, cannot. Rasul Douglas picked off Cook at the goal line, and he got way too many hugs for it. It didn't cure polio, a fist dab will do. The Jets missed 10 tackles, and the Dolphins rushed for 239 yards. Hot tuna, the Dolphins have won 4 in a row, and the Jets remain ground zero for sadness. Rain turned this game into a slippery toddler gym. It looked like someone drove a cheese grater over the field. Baker Mayfield got a boo-boo on his hand, and the staff moved quickly to cover it in Honey Dijon. Baker doesn't know how to take care of himself. Look at this madman. There you go. 1 towel on the crotch ought to do it. The broadcast went avant-garde in the 3rd quarter after showing nothing but feet. Darth Vader was there. The Saints were called for tripping after Rashad White's shoelaces caught on the defender's cleat. Loop, swoop, and pull, boys. Don't let yourself get denied 6 because you use bunny ears like a savage. The Bucks had a handle on this game until AARP recipient Tyler Shuck said hold my gumbo and ripped off 2 touchdowns from distance. Look at his fanny pack jiggling all the way, like he's gonna need chapstick in the end zone. Geno Smith left this game. He was probably injured, but even if he wasn't, I don't blame him. Kenny Pickett took over, which are not welcome words anywhere outside of a Pete Carroll eulogy. The Raiders sputtered on offense again. Rookie Ashton Genty only saw 10 carries. The Raiders kicked a field goal as time expired for a few meaningless points, which is all the points when you're the Raiders. And gamblers lost their shit online over the spread, whatever that is. I do not understand gambling well enough to know. I only gamble with my life. All I know is I can think of no better cry for help than betting on the Raiders. Matthew Stafford continued his campaign against the end zone. 3 touchdowns. Puka Nacua, whose real name is Steve, grabbed 167 yards and 2 more touchdowns. Blake Corum rushed for over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, and demonstrated the proper technique for hot dog that fell on the floor. The Rams had over 500 yards of offense and 45 points.
Aerial coverage brought to you by
Birds. They have seized control of the blimp and have demands. Michael Wilson was the only bright spot for the Cardinals. 142 yards and 2 touchdowns. Good for fantasy, which is what a winning season for the Cardinals would be. It was cold in Lambeau, and Tom Brady's hands sought the only warmth they could find: Kevin Burkhart's pants. Jordan Love threw 3 touchdowns, 2 to Christian Watson. Caleb Williams was evading pressure.
With the magic, the Houdini.
Ah, yes. All kids remember the magic of Houdini.
Houdini.
The magician who specialized in escaping from public restrooms. His number 1 skill was evading number 2s.
Houdini.
Colston Loveland, who sounds like a horny billionaire on Gilligan's Island, caught a touchdown late to keep the game close. But Williams underthrew his receiver in the final minute, and it was off to even icier handshakes. Time to burn this mother down with the ceremonial big-ass match. The Chiefs look like an off-brand version of themselves. Mahomes went 14 of 33 and threw 3 interceptions. They failed to convert on 4th down. Harrison Butker doinked a kick, and it sounded like jingle bells. Steve Spagnuolo tried to lighten the mood by bringing a dog to the game. Not his dog, just one he found in someone's home. Who's a good boy? Let's see. Not Kareem Hunt, not Rashee Rice. Santa's crack dealer was there. The Texans leaned hard into rookie Woody Marks, and why wouldn't you when he's averaging 2.6 yards per carry? Chris Collinsworth's belief in Mahomes is unflappable.
I have just seen Mahomes too many times in these situations to think this game is anywhere close to over right now.
The Chiefs could be down by 1,000 points, and he'd still be chugging the Kool-Aid and saying,
I'm still convinced that Kansas City could win the Super Bowl.
oh, fuck this game. Justin Herbert was recovering from hand surgery, leading to a lot of unintentional crotch shots. If I were him, I would have front-loaded my underoos with G.I. Joes, guaranteeing the first question after the game would not be, how's the hand? This game was being simulcast with monsters.
Are you ready for some football?
Don't listen to the one-eyed monster. That's why Justin Herbert needed hand surgery. It was turnover city, and Jalen Hurts was the mayor. He was picked off, only to see the defense fumble it back to him, just for him to fumble it away. I've never seen one player give the ball away twice on the same play. Just shoot me in the crotch with a t-shirt cannon and get it over with. Hurts threw another 3 interceptions, and Herbert chipped in with a couple of turnovers himself.
What is happening in Monstropolis?
The Eagles faked a tush push, and Saquon Barkley took it the distance. Nick Sirianni was so pumped, he superglued himself to Jordan Mailata. Jesus Christ, not again. They dragged this bitch to overtime, and they would use most of it. Fuck your job. The Eagles were driving, but Jalen Hurts was picked off again. I can't think of a way this could be any more embarrassing.
Sully with his 4th interception of the night, and this one ends it.
And now the salt pretzel of the week. Yummy. This week, the pretzel goes to Josh Allen and Khalil Shakir for a crazy touchdown connection on 4th down. I don't do film breakdowns here, that's not really what we're about. But I wanted to take a look at this play because it absolutely should not have worked. After your typical Josh Allen scramble, he decides to put it in the end zone and let somebody make a play. There are 2 receivers in the area. Tyrell Shavers was running across the back of the end zone and put his hand up, but this was only ever intended for Shakir. Shakir's defender, which is a mismatch with rookie linebacker Demetrius Knight Jr., had his back to Allen, which he could see when he threw it. The next closest defender was safety Geno Stone, who had good vision on it, However, Allen places the ball on the left side of Knight, which essentially causes him to be an impediment to any action by Geno Stone. If Knight hadn't been there, I think Stone would have been able to make a play on the ball and either been able to disrupt it or pick it off. Instead, Allen puts it exactly where it needs to be with enough on it that no one can react to it but his receiver. Kudos to Allen and Shakir for this catch, and in the snow no less. Oh, and if you're a Bills hater, just know that the gingerbread man animation from the Chiefs-Texans game gets a runner-up pretzel. That was pretty rad and deserves a mention. Thanks for watching Shutout Football. Please say hi to your mom for me, and we'll catch you next week. Peace!
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.
Who's a good boy?